It's Josh with Carl's Mower and Saw here. And today we're gonna fire up an FS240. It's been retired. It's now the FS251, which, by the way, guys, kicks butt. We have about a half a horsepower more, actually 0.4 horsepower more out of the FS251. And we are actually running up to 17% cooler from my test. So what kills an engine is heat, right? And if we can keep this engine running lower heat, it's gonna have a longer life. So today what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna hop down here just a minute. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna cut. I've got some heavy, thick field grass that is very hard to mow because it's always wet down here. It rarely gets mowed, and I'm gonna run a couple different heads on this. So before I show you what we're gonna cut, let's kind of take a look in my bag here. Right here, I've got the AutoCut 20-2. Okay, this is a line head. It takes fixed lengths of line, currently up to 130 diameter trimmer line. And we can actually, if we make a little adjustment, a little tweak, replace the dogs or the ratchets in there, we can get up to 170. So a lot of range with this head. So we've got the AutoCut head. We've got the STIHL standard, what they call their grass cut blade. We'll try this out. This is the blade that if you buy a combi with the blade on it, this is what it comes with. We have the classic AutoCut 25-2, very, very similar. It performs the same as the new AutoCut 27-2. That's the one that's like a light gray, white and black. That one's a little easier to get into. It feeds the same, it holds the same amount of line. In fact, many of the parts and components inside can be interchanged. I've got some .095 trimmer line. That's what the AutoCut holds. I've got my 130 trimmer line here. That's what the AutoCut holds. I have a 14-inch flat straight blade. This is a very good mowing blade for tall grass, as well as getting into some up to 1-inch diameter material that you really want to just go back and forth on. I've got my tools in here, right here. I'm going to need those when it comes time to switch out the heads. And then on the machine right now, I have the shredder blade. Okay, so this blade actually is 12 inches wide and it hooks down at the end. It is phenomenal for taking care of stuff that's this tall that you kind of want to mulch down. So you run the machine up and down and get a lot of fine stuff. Okay, enough about that. We'll get to that in just a minute, but let's flip the camera around. This is what I'm going to come attack. And what I'm going to do is just do like a one swath wide, swinging the machine back and forth and just really be able to see how the things perform. So what do we, thigh high grass. There's a lot of dead grass in here too, so it's pretty thick. The stalks are fairly decent. So we're gonna try each of these things out on this tall grass. Some of it's even higher. And I'm gonna just come in with the FS240 and just back and forth, say 10 feet or so deep. Then we'll do the swap back and forth, and we'll see which blade or cutting head performs the best. So we'll do the first pass with the shredder blade so you can get a look at that. Again, this isn't ideal for the shredder blade, but maybe I'll be surprised. Here we go. Let me back the camera up and then I'll just do a straight swath in, see how this red shred blade performs. Okay. So something I know about this blade is it likes to go up and down. And I was just using it in the back and forth. I'm fairly high off the ground yet because I don't really want to put those tines into the ground. It'll cause problems. So let's see what happens when I come back towards you with it just going up and down. All right, and another method people I know use is sideways like this. So let's see how this does sweeping at you. All right, that is definitely more work doing it that way. It's much easier back and forth. So for grass, round one, the red shred, let me go get my tools and another head here just a minute and we'll see what we get. Okay, so I've got the grass cut and I've got the 14-inch flat blade. You know, something kind of handy about this bike handle unit, so I can set it upside down like this, allow the handlebars to support it. Let's go to the grass cut. You know, I think we started with one of the better blades, but let's see how the grass cut does. And first thing we got to do we're gonna lock the gearbox, drop this pin up in here. Bam, gearbox is locked. Grab my tool, and it is, remember, reverse thread. So I'm gonna pull it towards me clockwise, spin the nut off, take off the cap, pull off the blade. Let's grab the grass cut out of here. Brand new, woohoo! All right, are you excited about this blade? Spoiler alert, I'm not. One, look how much smaller it is. I mean, I am significantly shorter, so it's gonna be a narrower cutting width, but we'll try it out. We'll keep a good attitude. Blade gets centered on the arbor, the cap goes on. Again, grab the nut, and we're gonna tighten that up. This time I'm gonna spin it counterclockwise. My pin is still in there. I'm gonna tighten that up nice and snug. I think one thing we'll notice is, holy cow, this power head, this 2.3 horse, has no problem spinning this blade. It's gonna take very little power. All right, we got another section. Earmuffs on, face shield on, shoulder strap on. All right, that's the grass cut. I'll come back at you. One thing I noticed right off the bat was that I am cutting a little shorter, which is nice. So I'm closer to the ground. That's gonna make it easier to maybe come back later and mow it off. All right, the other thing was virtually no debris flying. That was cool. Let's take this off. Let's flip it over and let's go to the 14-inch flat. All right, so this is the widest blade of all of them. I'll hold this up to the grass cut here in just a second once I get it off. Locking pin in place. Again, reverse thread, so clockwise to loosen. Spin that nut off here just a second. Did you notice there was no debris flying when I did that? So that is something unique about mini blades, is they don't really throw the stuff. I still recommend safety material. You'll never know what happens. Okay, here's my blade. So this 14-inch blade is roughly 2 inches longer on each side. So that's gonna cover a lot wider swath. Awesome, that's good. Disadvantages with this blade, as well as this blade right here. If you're going into some virgin territory where you don't know what's in there, rocks or T-posts or old cars, I mean, who knows what's out in the long grass or blackberries, right? But you hit something solid that doesn't give with this blade on the tip, and you risk damaging the gearbox. So keep that in mind. I've done it myself. Last year, actually, I was doing some cutting and all of a sudden, bang! And I looked down and I saw a T-post. That didn't feel very good. So let's get this started by hand here just a second. All right, we're somewhat tight. And now let's just spin this. Snug, good, tight. All right, let's flip it over. Let's fire it up. Easy start, easy, easy start. All right, we'll move over a little ways. Put my safety gear back on and hook up my shoulder strap here, just like so. Okay, 14-inch blade. Let's get in the center. I've got some crap to clear out of the way right away, so give me a second. All right, that definitely takes a little bit more power to spin, but way quicker in my opinion. I'll come back at you. Before I do that, I'm gonna cut a branch with this. You're gonna see what it can actually cut. So I got this tree behind me. Let's, all right, take a look at that. That's something else this blade can do. You see the diameter of that material? That's a good 1 inch. Boom, right through it. Pretty awesome if I wanted to push back some brush. Okay, that's out of the way. Back at you, we'll go really low. Oh, I didn't have it up to speed. That was a thick mass. Okay, 14-inch flat. What are you guys thinking so far? Which one is taking the cake on performance? Okay, we'll flip these up. let's pop this blade off and let's throw on one of the heads. Let's go AutoCut, right? So this is the standard head that comes with your STIHL trimmer. Actually, the new ones are the 27-2, but just a bump head. Okay, here's my preconceived notion, or my preconceptions on this head. Is it's gonna do well, but it's gonna throw a lot more stuff, as a line head normally does. Got that on there good and tight that time, guys. Okay, wow. Maybe I should have tightened it a little more and it wouldn't have self-tightened. Okay. That's one of the advantages of a reverse thread. So this AutoCut head is going to do well. The challenge that we'll face is, what I'm wondering is if I'm going to have a place that I can bump it and extend the line, right? I got 0.095 trimmer line, which really is designed for more lawn trimming or a reasonable amount of growth, but maybe we'll be surprised at it. There we go. Centered, this locking pin in, and just spin it on. And before we move on, I'm gonna quickly cut this DuraCut line since I'm here. And of course I forgot my snippers. That's one of the best things. So we'll see if my knife will do it. Yep, so these are supposed to be roughly 8 inches long, and we will figure that out. That's a little longer than 8 inches. We'll get there in a minute. Benchmade for the win. If you're looking for a good knife, these Benchmades, they got them. Okay, back at it. Let's move the camera, do another swath, get into some nice heavy growth, pull the rope. You're seeing how easy this is starting, right? Safety. For sure covering my face this time. I got more stuff that's gonna fly at me. All right, we've got maximum line length here, so here we go. Sorry, getting through this heavy mulch that's been thrown in here over the years. All right, I don't know if you can see from there, we've lost about half of our line length. So let's see if we can actually bump it on this pillow and if it will feed out, and then we'll come back and we'll clean it up a little bit. Okay, that line is way too long. So I did notice this earlier. The line cutter on this brush cutter guard right here is missing. I don't know if I just got rid of it or what, but my line is really about 4 inches too long. Did you hear how much harder that worked? STIHL has done a lot of work, as all trimmer manufacturers have, to find that ideal line trimmer length, so you're not overworking the engine and you can get maximum performance. So I'm a lot more covered, right? That head threw a lot more, and it was very hard to get it to bump. I had to really hit it hard. But if you're not cutting that deep of material, this AutoCut head is a great head for working around your property or fence lines, as long as you're keeping it a little bit shorter and you have a hard place to tap that head at. Okay, to the DuraCut. Here we go. We're gonna grab 2 pieces of line. We're gonna grab the head. Let's spin off the AutoCut head. Lock this in place. Okay, DuraCut 20-2. Very easy, simply spin it on. So get that thing centered. Bam, spins on. And with this head, what's really slick about this head is no tools. I simply take my trimmer line and I slide it in like so, and it's locked. It won't pull out. That one actually is. It's kind of weird. Did I get a bum head here, guys? This is no bueno. Let's try this other side. That is not normal. Okay, I have a bum head. I have to go get a different one to really try this out, but I don't know if I have the patience to do that or the time to do that. So maybe we just cut this video short. We'll get a DuraCut use a little bit later, but between the grass cut shred, let me grab those blades here just a minute. Okay, round 1 was the shredder blade, a used shredder blade that was pretty dull. We got that. Round 2 was the grass cut. Round 3 was the 14-inch flat. Round 4 was the AutoCut 25-2, and round 5 was supposed to be DuraCut. Fail. This is what happens when you don't try your videos out first. You just go and do it. That's what I do. Anyways, Josh with Carl's Mower and Saw here. What do you think? Which blade, which head is the best for your application? Is it a blade or is it a line head? Now, part of that is going to come into where you're cutting, what you're cutting, what tool you have, right? So if I have an FS56, you know, I maybe went cheap a little bit when I made my purchase, these blades aren't going to work right for you. You're going to have to really stick with a line head or maybe the grass cut head in order to not damage the machine. It has a cable drive. So if you're thinking about your property, if you're thinking ahead, if you're looking forward, you really want to make sure you get a machine that can handle all of the needs all of the tasks that you're going to throw at it, not only today, but tomorrow and well into the future. So thanks for joining me on this little test demo. I hope that you found this helpful. For more information on these blades, see the bio, the link below. We can ship them and hook you up with the right blades for your machine. We will talk to you soon at Carl's Mower and Saw in Ferndale, Washington.